Alright, I am here in my recliner and I'm very excited to talk about a brand new movie, Bo Burnham's directorial debut, 8th Grade. Now, this is a very special movie to me for more than one reason. And I mentioned Bo Burnham's name in the beginning of this video, and that's because I'm a massive fan of his. I've followed him since he was hunched over his electronic keyboard, putting out little funny songs on YouTube in his bedroom. I watched him back in 8th grade, actually, way back when. I bought his albums when they came out. I watched all of his stand-up specials. I own one. I've seen him live. I just love the guy. And for the first 10 minutes of this movie, I really was just grinning ear to ear because it just blew me away that guy I watched in his bedroom cranking out little silly songs 10 years ago, he's on the big screen now. He's a feature-length film, and it's playing on the big screen, and that just blows me away. It inspires me a little bit because here I am putting little YouTube videos up reviewing movies, and I have aspirations to be a filmmaker someday. So to see this play out the way it has it's inspiring, and I'm super proud of him, and I'm excited to see where he goes next. Now, me being such a big follower of his, it was really interesting in this movie to see a lot of his the material that he covers in his stand-up routines. In his stand-up routines, it's played for laughs, and when he gets even a little bit serious, he usually cuts it in with a joke after the fact, so it's more light and fluffy. This movie's more serious, but it's the same stuff he talks about in his stand-up specials. So hearing him over the years joke about this stuff and see it kind of get fine-tuned into this nice little drama about a girl's last week of 8th grade, it's just so nice to see him have this outlet in film now, and he did a really good job. It's clear to me that through this movie he kind of puts out some of his own life experiences. I mean, I don't know the guy personally, obviously, but it seems real clear to me that that's at least part of it was his own life experiences around that time. The character even uses YouTube as an outlet to try to connect with the world, to try to connect with people, because she has trouble doing that in the real world, face-to-face social interaction. She has real trouble with, so she turns to YouTube and she posts all these videos, doesn't get any views, but she just tries so desperately to connect in the way she thinks she knows best, and that's online. And this really provides poignant commentary on the way things are today. YouTubers, they post videos and they offer advice on how to live your life, but who's to say they live their own lives that way? A lot of people are hypocrites. They can throw advice all they want. They can't live it by that advice themselves. And that's our main character in this film. She posts videos frequently about how to how to be confident, how to put yourself out there, how to do this and that. But in reality, she can't do those things. She knows how to do it. Like in her head, it makes sense. But when it comes to doing it herself, she's too awkward. She's too anxious. She clearly suffers from anxiety in the movie. So you really get to see the two sides, where her online persona is this pretty open and talkative, and she knows how to figure things out. But in the real world, she's extremely shy. She's a lot of trouble interacting with other people, and that's just internet culture for you. And this commentary on how technology impacts current generations coming up is a through line through the whole movie. You know, how does it help people get connected? How does it block people off from getting connected? It explores that a lot, and it makes it very timely. But outside of the technology angle, it explores a lot of the similar themes of coming of age stories. How do you make friends? How do you go about your first romantic interactions? How do you adapt to high school life from more simpler times and middle school and just growing up in general. It explores all of that, but it stands out because it focuses a little bit on technology and just wanting to be heard. My favorite element of the film, and probably the most important in the end, is the father-daughter relationship. It's just a really sweet bond they develop throughout the movie. Because at first she just wants to do everything herself. She blocks him out completely, is mean to him really a few times, and you feel for the guy, but you also feel for her. But as things start to fall apart throughout the movie, he's always the rock. He never gets mad at her. He's always supportive of her, and she that arc, it takes her a while to really appreciate that, and I'm glad that's the crux of the climax, kind of. I thought it was a really sweet relationship, portrayed very well. And while it did follow the basic structure of a coming of age story, I did appreciate that it avoided the pitfalls of the big cliches of those sorts of movies, like the just over the top, in your face bully, like that physically just beats you up, that our hero has to overcome. There's not any of that in this movie, which I always, in movies that had that bully character, it's just me personally, I've never had that experience. I guess I was lucky, but I never had that experience. So I never connected with a character that was getting really bullied in classic coming of age tales. But in this movie, it's more subtle. It's just the little things people do that just make you feel bad, and that stuff's not really explored too often in these sorts of movies. So I really did appreciate that. If I had to name a negative for the film, it would actually be the same as one of my positives, in that it has a lot to do with technology. But more than that, it has some very specific references to technology and apps and games and videos that are popular like right now, or that have been in the past couple years. So I'm thinking that probably its longevity isn't very good. I don't think it's going to be a timeless classic. I think it's a great one to watch right now for the generation like my age, or a few years younger or older. I think will really connect with this film. But I think maybe 10, 15 years from now, and later, if people watch this, they might not connect as well, because a lot of the references will be dated. A lot of the technology and a lot of the little subplots might not make all that much sense, if you know what I mean. So I don't know if it's going to be a timeless classic, but for right now in this climate, I think it's a great one to watch. And also, I don't think it quite hit the emotional level I was hoping for me, or that what I was expecting. Throughout the whole course of the movie, it's building and building and building, and I'm getting the feels. But the big climax at the end, I was expecting to be in tears, and I just wasn't. And I think I could attribute that fact to the film feels very improv. I don't know how much it is actually, but a lot of it feels like real dialogue, like the awkward moments. They feel like you're watching a real person struggle through a social interaction, and it works most of the time. But they also did this in the climax when you're getting these words of wisdom, and the big moments at the end where our characters reaching the end of their character arc. And I was expecting to be in tears, but it just came off kind of sloppy and poorly written, or maybe it was just poorly delivered. I don't know, but I was waiting for some words to really hit me, and it just didn't. But all that being said, in the end, I did really enjoy the film. I think a casual moviegoer will enjoy it, especially if you're if you're around my age. I'm 25, give or take 5 or so years. I think you're really going to connect with the film. I think you're gonna get a little bit extra bump of enjoyment if you've been a long time Bo Burnham fan. Like I said, you're gonna get the little nuggets of like, oh, he's covered that in his stand up. This is cool watching this play out. And, oh, this is kind of how he started with YouTube, and that's what this character's doing. That's kind of cool, stuff like that. But I don't think it's essential that you're a fan of his to know or understand what's going on in the film. Yeah, for me, I'll give it a 90, 91%. Like I said, I thought it didn't reach the emotional heights I was hoping it would. And I think it is going to be a little bit dated in a few years. But relatively minor complaints. I really liked it. So, yeah, until next time, bye.